Hi, my name is Mike Dion. Last week, with the help of Kyle Rogstad, I released a video on YouTube in response to the shooting that happened here in Springfield, Vermont. The response the town gave to that video was amazing. So many people watched that video, so many people said kind things to me and encouraged me as a response to what I had to say. And I don't think that there's anything really that I said that was that earth-shattering or amazing. What I think is really going on is there's so many people already working towards a better Springfield. And there's so many people already hoping for this town to become a place of hope that it just kind of was what everyone was feeling at that time. And so everyone kind of rallied behind it. But one of the really cool things as a result of that video is that I've had so many conversations now with people about what's next and how do we move Springfield forward. And I've been made aware of so many programs that exist that I didn't even know about until last week. As these conversations have gone, I've got tons of ideas, but I've also realized that there's so many other people out there who've been thinking about this for a long time. So you'll hear what I have to say in this video, or a little bit of what I have to say in this video, and in the next several videos, you won't even see me. You're going to be seeing people from town who have been working towards making Springfield a better place, and you're going to hear what their vision is, what they're doing, and how we can all work together to move this place forward. So, for my thoughts here, I have two main points I want to make. Number one, we've got to keep the families in mind. We've got to continue supporting the families. The Wing family, I've been blown away with the amount of support that they've received and the response from the community. The vigil the other night, there were so many people all over the place, and people have been asking, how do we help these people? It's been amazing. We've got to keep that going. We can't forget them in 6 months or a year and think, oh, well, everything's fine. We've got to keep going and continue to support them and continue to be very deliberate about supporting them. We also need to remember that Greg Smith, he did something awful, but he's got family. As far as I know, he's got at least one child. That kid's future, I think, largely depends on how we as a community support the child. So let's think about how we can help that kid to not live in the shadow of this awful event. Number two, I think that we need to be very cautious about how we judge each other. It's kind of human nature, and social media really exacerbates this and blows it up, where when somebody disagrees with us, we want to call them stupid, or we want to just think that they're awful because they have a different position on something than we do. There's this amazing statement. It's just a short little statement, but it's incredibly profound, that Dan Nichols, he's a pastor in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, he made this statement. He said, disagreement is not equal to hate. And that's something that, it seems so simple, but we're really bad at that as people. I mean, you look at Facebook for a little while and you see so many things getting shared that are calling whoever the other side is, whether it's Republican or Democrat or Christian or atheist or whatever, calling each other stupid and making each other look like idiots. That doesn't work. If we're going to be a town, if we're going to unite in this vision of making Springfield a place of hope, we can't continue to judge each other in that way. Judgment also has this idea of where we look at somebody and we decide that they're a bad person because they're doing something worse or worse in our minds than what we do. That, I think, is something that needs to be adjusted. Obviously, the way that you perceive what's good and bad comes down to your worldview and your philosophy on life. For myself, I'm a Christian, so that means that I believe that God created mankind in His image. That means that every person deserves respect. It means that mankind marred that image when we chose to reject God and are now in need of redemption. Everybody equally in need of redemption, and that redemption is freely available through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. So that puts it into a pretty level playing field for me, and I know that Christianity and even myself, we haven't done a great job at not condemning people, but that's something that biblically and the way that God has things set up, really we have no room to condemn each other. Jesus, in the book of Matthew, he makes this statement about judgment. He says, do not judge, but when you see that your brother has a speck in his eye, make sure you take care of the log in your own eye before you help him. So there's a couple things that I see there. There's the idea that, number one, judgment as condemnation is not something that we are supposed to be doing. And then number two, we do need to hold each other accountable, but we need to make sure that we have ourselves in check, that we're not being hypocrites, and that we're not holding somebody accountable just so we can feel like we're a better person than they are. So grabbing onto this whole concept, let's call it accountability without condemnation. I think that we can move forward better if we're able to have conversations with each other without condemning someone else because their views are different. In fact, you might even disagree with my views in this video. Let this be an exercise in disagreement without hatred. Let this be an exercise in holding each other accountable for what is right and wrong and what we say we're going to do, even without condemnation. So as a town, number one, let's commit to helping the families. And number two, let's commit to holding each other accountable without condemning each other. All right, guys, that's all I've got for right now, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what some of these other people from town have to say. Keep an eye out. They're going to be coming over the next couple weeks. Thanks.